Crows remember. That's the thing most people never know, and once you know it, you can't unknow it. There is a crow that knows your face. Not a crow in general. Not crows as a species. A specific crow, one that has seen you, registered you, and filed you away in a memory that will outlast most of what you remember about this year. You've probably seen it. On the fence post, on the telephone wire, on the roof of the house across the road. It looked at you the way crows always look at you, directly, without blinking, for slightly too long. You thought nothing of it. It did. Crows are not watching the world the way most birds watch the world. A blue tit processes its environment as a series of immediate questions. Where is food? Where is threat? Where is shelter? The calculation is constant, the memory short. Yesterday barely exists. A crow is doing something different, something that scientists spent decades assuming was impossible in a non-human brain. Something that, once you understand it, makes every future interaction with a crow feel fundamentally different. Crows remember individuals, not species. Individuals. They distinguish between specific human faces, hold those faces in memory for years, communicate information about specific humans to other crows, and adjust their behavior, sometimes for the rest of their lives, based on a single experience with a single person. There are crows alive in British gardens right now that have a working memory of every human being they have ever encountered. They know which ones can be trusted, which ones threw a stone, which ones left food, which ones came too close to the nest. They know which one is you. Here's how it works. A crow's brain contains a structure called the nidopallium quadrilaterale, a region that performs the same cognitive functions as the prefrontal cortex in humans. The prefrontal cortex is where we plan, where we recognize faces, where we hold complex social information across time. It is, in large part, what makes us who we are. The crow has a version of it. Smaller, differently structured, but functionally equivalent in ways that took neuroscientists years to accept, because the assumption had always been that this kind of cognition required a brain that looked like ours. It doesn't. A crow brain is roughly the size of a walnut. Inside that walnut is a social processing system capable of recognizing up to 250 individual faces, human and crow alike. It catalogues them, updates them, cross-references experiences against them, and it does this continuously across every waking hour of a life that can last, in the wild, up to 20 years. 20 years of watching, 20 years of remembering, 20 years of filing every human it has ever encountered into a system it will carry until the day it dies. To put that in perspective, a crow that nested in your garden when you moved in could still be there, could still remember the first time it saw you, the way you moved, whether you looked at it or looked away, whether you seemed like a threat or something else entirely. The crow does not forget. It does not get confused. It does not merge you with someone else. The face recognition system in the corvid brain is, in terms of accuracy and longevity, comparable to our own. Some researchers believe it may be more reliable, less prone to the distortions and false memories that human recall is subject to. When a crow looks at you, it is not seeing a human. It is seeing you. Specifically, precisely, irreducibly you. The research that first confirmed this came from the University of Washington in 2008. Scientists wore masks during crow trapping and banding sessions, a deliberately threatening act since captured crows are stressed and frightened. Later, the same scientists walked the same routes wearing the same masks. The crows that had been trapped mobbed the mask wearers, dive-bombing, calling, following them through the campus, while completely ignoring people wearing neutral masks or no mask at all. They had not forgotten the face. They had not confused it. Months later, in some cases over a year later, the same crows responded to the same mask with the same intensity. The researchers tried reversing the masks, wearing them upside down to see if the crows were responding to a general shape rather than a specific face. The crows were not fooled. They recognized the features regardless of orientation, adjusting for the rotation, reading the face correctly, even when it was presented in a way no human would ever wear it. That is not instinct. That is not pattern matching in any simple sense. That is face recognition, the same cognitive process you use every day, running inside a walnut-sized brain on a bird sitting on your garden fence. But the finding that changed everything came next. The crows taught other crows. Birds that had never been trapped, never encountered the mask, never had any negative experience themselves, began mobbing the dangerous mask. They had learned from other crows that this face was a threat. A face they had never seen was now on a list they would carry for the rest of their lives. There is a word for this. It is called cultural learning, the transmission of specific acquired knowledge between individuals across a social group. Not instinct, not genetics. Learned information, passed deliberately from one individual to another, retained and acted upon by those who received it. It was supposed to be a human thing, or, at the very least, a primate thing, the kind of behaviour that required language, or something close to it. Crows do it without language. They do it through behaviour, through the specific quality of an alarm call, through the direction of a mob, through the social signals of a group that has decided collectively that a particular face is dangerous. And they do it in your street, in your neighbourhood, in the garden you walk through every morning without thinking about what is watching you walk through it. If you have ever disturbed a crow nest, even accidentally, even years ago, there is a meaningful chance that the crow you are looking at today already knows. Not because it was there, because it was told. If you have ever been kind to a crow, left food, moved slowly, given it space, there is a meaningful chance that information has also been passed on, that a crow you have never met has already filed you under something closer to safe than threat. Your reputation among the local crow population exists. It has been built over years, without your knowledge or input from observations you were not aware were being made. This is the point in the video where I want you to stop and actually consider what that means. A crow in your neighbourhood is not just an animal. It is a member of a social network that shares and stores specific information about specific humans. It has colleagues. It has a reputation system. It has what you might, if you were feeling generous, call a community. And your behaviour, past, present, and future, is part of that community's shared knowledge, whether you know it or not. Before you click away, I want to tell you about one more thing that crows do. And this one is harder to explain away than anything we've covered so far. Crows leave gifts. This is documented, specifically documented repeatedly across multiple countries by researchers who did not go looking for it and were not sure what to make of it when they found it. Crows that have developed positive associations with particular humans will bring them objects. Small pieces of glass, shiny buttons, fragments of metal, a screw, a bead, occasionally food. Placed deliberately in locations the crow has learned the human will find them. A girl in Seattle named Gabby Mann began feeding crows as a child, dropping food for them on her way to the school bus, leaving portions of her lunch. By the time she was 8, the crows in her neighbourhood had begun returning the gesture, leaving objects in the tray she used for their food. Over 4 years, they brought her 77 distinct objects. She catalogued everyone. She still has them. The objects weren't random. They were, as far as anyone can tell, chosen. Shiny, interesting, unusual. Not garbage. not debris that happened to land there. Objects a crow had picked up, carried and placed with apparent intention in a specific location for a specific person. The crow equivalent of finding something worth sharing and deciding who to share it with. Crows don't do this for every human. They do it for humans who have earned it. Humans they have assessed over time and across many interactions. Humans who have proven consistent, who have not threatened, who have, in whatever way a crow understands the concept, become worth something. There are people in ordinary British streets right now who receive objects from crows and have no idea why. Some of them have never consciously fed a crow in their life, but a parent did, or a grandparent or a previous occupant of the house. And the network remembers, and the network has decided that this address, this person, this face is worth a gesture. The crow on your fence is not decoration. It is not background. It is an animal with a 20-year memory, a social network, a reputation system, and, if you have been paying attention, the means and the inclination to let you know that it has noticed you. The next time you see a crow, look back, hold the eye contact for a moment. Don't do anything threatening. Don't do anything sudden. Just look. It already knows your face. It already has a file on you. The only question is what's in it, and whether you've given it any reason to add something new. If this made you see your garden differently, that's what this channel is for. Every video is about the hidden relationship between you and the wildlife that chose to share your space without asking. The robin that's been mapping your routine. The fox that knows exactly when you go to bed. The creature in your compost heap that stops breathing every winter and comes back anyway. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Every week there's something else living in your garden that you didn't know about. And now that you've started noticing, you won't be able to stop.